And we are back between two Yetis outside Sapporo, where we're just about to eat, with one of the, with babyface Will Kaye. How you doing?
Good to see you.
Sorry, but you're not a baby, are you?
I'm not. No, I've not been a baby for around about 40 years.
40 odd years, yeah. But you do have babies now.
I have two, two 2-month-old and an 18-month-old. So life has changed dramatically in the last couple of years.
Yeah. So Will's a very accomplished yacht captain. Travels the world, I guess.
I've been lucky enough to work on a couple of boats that have been world cruising, which has been a real pleasure.
And now you've made the choice to go back on land. So a lot of captains do this.
Yeah.
How are you finding How are you finding them?
Well, right now I'm taking some time out to spend time with the family, bring up the kids, and help out at home, and that's perhaps even more challenging than running a large yacht. So
where are you living?
In Mallorca and Palma.
Right, okay. So you might know the von Holstein.
I do, yes, yeah. Good man.
Oh dear. So how did you become a yacht captain?
It was something I certainly never planned on. I was an engineering graduate. Before I was an engineering graduate, while I was studying engineering at university, I got bored of doing engineering placements in my summer holidays, and I was a sailing instructor then. I grew up dinghy sailing. I loved sailing. I was passionate about it. And
this is back in England.
This is back 20 odd years ago, 25 years ago when I was, or 20 years ago when I was a student, 20 odd years ago, and I started teaching sailing in Greece in my university holidays. I used to work for Sun World Sailing, which is now Nielsen. And when I graduated, I started running a fleet of boats out of there for Tiller holidays in Greece. And
so you were good at commanding a boat from a very young age?
A small one, yeah. Little toppers and lasers and 420s and little sailing boats, yeah.
They're fun boats, aren't they?
Absolutely
Table's
fantastic. Yeah.
Okay, well we'll wrap this up very quickly. Because Will hasn't actually got a coat, so yeah, the toppers and that little. It's just It's interesting if the people who are in this industry because they love being out on the water.
Yeah, that's exactly where I came from. Yeah.
Opposed to a lot of the people in the trade in METS at the moment who have never even been on a boat.
Yeah.
It's speaking to a guy. I won't say who it was because he went into trouble, but he's saying he's walking around talking to people. They don't even know what a boat is. They're like, oh yeah, no, this is good for boats. Yeah, but what boats is it on? No, it's good for boats. Well, where do you advertise? Oh, we advertise all the time. Where do you advertise? Showboats, all the time.
Yeah.
Showboats hasn't done a publication for 2 years. we do everything. It's amazing. So actually having the passion and actual heritage of it is great.
Yeah, that's what got me into it. From there, I went up the sizes. I ran chartered catamarans in the Caribbean. And then after 7 years on the sailing side, I turned to the dark side, as we say, and moved to the motor yachts.
Oh, so you went from a blowboat to a
yeah,
stink.
Exactly. So I can call them blowboaters and waffies and whatever else we get called because I'm one of them. So.
And Highlander was your last one?
Was my last command, yep.
And you saw that right through refit the lot?
No. I've just been on there for the last year on rotation. As a
Which one was the one you were doing refit on?
Prior to that, I was two fantastic expedition yachts I ran for a long time. Big Aaron for 10 years, which I did from build.
10 years?
10 years. From build all the way through to 10 year. And then Turmoil, which was another fantastic expedition yacht for 3 years on there, which was also great.
Good Lord. All right, so this is part of the show where we say, what's your best story?
Story.
What's the most salacious?
The best stories we couldn't possibly talk about on camera. They've been
well, no, we don't have to. No names. No. Everyone clams up at this point.
We got all sorts of stories we couldn't possibly tell. Some good ones, bad ones, ugly ones, crew ones, owner ones.
Here's a question: have you ever had violence between the crew on a boat?
Yeah, unfortunately. We've had to escort a crew member off a boat before who, decided that he wasn't very happy and threw a lot of equipment around, made some damage on board, and had to remove them from the boat.
And what triggered that off? Was it drug related? Was it sleeping around with a stewardess? Was it?
I mean, I suspect a drinking problem primarily, and definitely some anger management issues.
Yeah. It's interesting, this whole thing of violence on board the boat and rape, which I didn't realise was. It's just human nature, but because you're in this little, well, it's not little, but you are in this little village, town, and everyone's got their own, it's going to happen. But nobody talks about it.
I mean, I don't know about, I've never had a problem so strong as rape, but, you know, sexual assault, lesser, issues are definitely a problem on board, and I've not been without, 20 years in the industry and 12 or 13 on boats, 50 metre plus. There's numerous issues over the years with crew members, and I think the male crew on board seem to think that they can go out and have a few beers, and that because we all live and work in this nice environment, they can go and open the door of a girl's cabin and jump in bed with her. And that's a story that has happened numerous times on boats, and it needs to be severely dealt with.
It's what young kids do, and unfortunately, the crew a lot of crew, from what I see, are out to get drunk and fuck.
Which bits are we cutting out? Which bits aren't we? It's something that's come up in the UK press recently, and the numerous industries with the MPs, with whatever else, and it's not acceptable anywhere nowadays. But it's been.
But the thing is, it wasn't. The statement of saying it's not acceptable now. It wasn't acceptable then. It was just tolerated.
Exactly.
Then, so.
True. It's tolerated, and it's been tolerated in our industry, and it really shouldn't be, and it can't be. Going forward, it just cannot be.
Yeah. I mean, hanging around with Marcella last night, and my God, people treat her because she's like one of the 10 females in the industry, and I'm glad we fit the demographic of the industry, which is not a minority and it's not female. Maybe we'll change that. Somebody's got to change that.
We talked today about in one of the forums. We talked about discrimination. Age discrimination was the topic, but the reality was that there's huge amounts of discrimination in the industry across the board, and race and ethnicity is a huge one. I've had people from different non-Caucasian, shall we say, crew members on board. But it's very rare in our industry.
Very rare, And so what was the answer?
What was the answer?
Stop being a racist.
I don't think there's any answer, but the reality is that does it stem from the owners, or does it stem from what we believe the owners want?
That's what I believe it is.
I went to an owner and said, is it okay if I employ this crew member of this ethnicity? And I felt I had to do that. Did I really need to do it? Not in this case, but I felt I had to check, because there are. That's a terrible thing to have to feel to have to do.
That's a good debate for another time.
Yeah.
But we're going to go eat now. Will, lovely to see you again.
Yourself.
Congratulations on being a father.
Thank you.
And married. All in what? Space of.
All very quick. Well, no, we've been together a few years, but the kids came very quick. That's for sure.
Yeah. You knew the Thank you.